Okay, absolutely everything is happening for you. So you look at that, and that's creation. That's my Emily. That's my joy. Everything is happening to you. That's a sea-doo that she was driving with her brother when she passed. That happened to me. It was misery. Difference in the feeling, isn't there? Happening for me, happening to me. In the days and weeks and months that passed, a deep, dark, heavy fog hit me. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I got really good at taking care of everybody else. My son, who was involved in the accident, he had his patella smashed, his shoulder ripped open, massive concussion. So all I had to do was take care of him. It was easy. His father, my other sons, 4 sons, it's easy to take care of them. And then all I had to do was learn to take care of myself. That's when I fell apart. And I learned that the greatest common denominator in my life was me. I learned that life is a series of experiences, opportunities, and choices. And we're either moving away from or towards the best possible version of ourselves. And we're either growing or dying. Sounds harsh, but it's not. I choose joy. Boy, that one's... the snake one. That one's incredible. Fishing. Everything. It was on her passing this year where I had one moment where the tears hit. Because I looked at the man that I love and adore, my Raoul, my Ralph, my Raphael, and I started to cry. Because he never had a chance to meet her. And then I realized, yes, he did. He's got me. And I am everything that she is. Depending upon where I'm at. Because my emotions are either constructive or destructive. And everything is energy. Every thought, word, deed, action. And it's opportunity and it's contrast. And when you take the sum of that, your reaction equals your state of mind. It's just mind, and it's all mind. So the sum total of your emotional state is your overall level of consciousness. And energy is exponential. That's where the exponential joy part comes in, right? So it's a logarithmic progression. Big word. What it means is that 20 is not 2 times 10. Instead, it's 200 to the power of 10. Now, 10 is a magical number for me. Very magical. And 10 points represents a magical point in power. Emily was 10 years old when she passed away. Wow. Can you see the difference? 20 to the 10, 30 to the 10. It's a big difference, right? So where do we start? We start in shame. Oh boy, was I ashamed for a lot of years. Guilt. Wow. Stayed there, stayed in that relationship. And I've stayed in a lot of relationships over my life. Jobs, because I was guilty, conscious and unconscious. Killing is frequently its expression. Skyrocketing prison. They're full. How's that working? Ask anybody who works in corrective services. It creates bullies. Apathy, helplessness. The streets of Calcutta is an example that we all are familiar with, but it's the streets of Edmonton, Toronto, Miami, Cancun, anywhere you choose to be, it's there. Then there's grief. It colors one's entire vision of existence. It's all that you see, and it's the chronic mourning, remorse, habitual losers, and the chronic gamblers. Feel pretty guilty when you go to the casino and you lose 50 grand, right? And then you go back. So, WTF, what's the fear? Runs most of the world. Hazards, traps, threats, and it limits personal growth. I mean, that's almost like me with my nose up against the math because, like, I had this belief that I sucked at math. And then I worked in accounting for 25 years. And now I balance energies. It's so cool, right? Debits and credits. We move up to motivation. It's a great place to be, right? It's awesome. And it is the level of addiction. Insatiable, obsessed. We want more. And it's also what's going to help us seek a better life. You know, it's that springboard. It's the fish jumping out of the bowl into the bigger bowl. And then there's anger. Now we're moving up the emotional scale. Remember this. It's homicide and war, and it catapults us to freedom. It's also resentment and revenge, and it's volatile and it's dangerous. It's irritable, litigious. I like that word. I'll sue you. And it leads to hatred. And it's got an erosive effect on your life, always. Then there's pride. Canadian Armed Forces and the Marines, that's what fuels them. It's fantastic, right? Good reputation, socially encouraged, and we strut. And it is the downfall because we're overconfident, arrogant, defensive, vulnerable to attack. Get knocked off of our pedestal. And look at the price that we pay for that pride, that nationalistic pride. So all of those levels are sufficiently negative. So where do we get to the positive? What is that step? It's a tipping point. And it's falsehood and truth, power, force. Where we choose to constructively create our experience or destructively destroy our destiny. Power first appears with courage. I mean, look at that cat, right? He's not afraid. There's all these dogs. No way, man, I got this. And everyone grows at this point. It's where you find your superhero. It's a critical level. Look at that girl. Wow. True power and empowerment. It's the zone of exploration, accomplishment, fortitude, and determination. I love to dive. I dive deep, and I am looking forward to meeting a shark. Exciting, challenging, and stimulating. Willingness. We cope effectively. We've got the energy to learn new skills. And we grow despite our fears and character defects. Obstacles are true power. It's a hurdle. We put back into the world as much energy as we take. Positive feedback. Wow. This is where productivity begins. And it's the collective level of consciousness of mankind jumped here within the last decade. Now we're neutral. Okay, we were driving a car and we're in neutral. Interesting, isn't it? Everything below that is a dichotomy of the opposite. Relatively unattached to outcomes. It's an amazing feeling. One is not driven to prove anything. There's an inner confidence, and we're not easily intimidated. We're hard to control, though. We're comfortable. We're non-judgmental. Below 200, we're close-minded. The blame game. Even blaming yourself is completely useless. Always, every time, no excuses. If you want to be successful, you must respect one rule. Never lie to yourself. Willingness is a quality and state of being prepared. Prepared. Are you willing to stop living the life you have and start living the life you are after? Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. Willing people, look at that checklist. Which one do you want? Overcome inner resistance. I like that one. More. Create a career or self-employment for themselves. Naturally helpful to others. Considerable source of power for society. I am willing, but equals victim and fear. Unwillingness. Little shift. Ignites resolve and determination. I am unwilling to remain unsatisfied and unfulfilled. Acceptance. Major transformation. Source and the creator of one's life experience and the capacity to live harmoniously with the forces of life. Wow. Taking back one's power. Love is created from, within. Emotionally calm. Perception is wide. Denial is transcendent. Seeing the whole picture. It's that beautiful bird's eye view, right? Dedicated to resolving issues and finding out what to do about problems. Long-term goals take precedence over short-term goals. And self-mastery, self-discipline are prominent. We honor equality. Reason, intelligence and rationality, right? I get it, I understand. It's doctorates, it's lawyers, it's all of that wonderful conceptualization and comprehension. And it's sought as capital. I mean, we invest a lot of money in our education. But failure to clearly distinguish between symbols and what they represent, confusion between the objective and the subjective worlds, it becomes an end into itself. Lacks the capacity to resolve discrepancy in data and conclusion. It's paradoxically the major block to reaching higher levels of consciousness. So what's next? Love. Oh, but it's not the mass media love, okay? We fall into and out of this love. So what kind of love is it? Is it this? Hate stems from pride, not love. Love, oh, it's a state of being. It's unconditional, unchanging, and permanent. I learned that as a parent. I learned that no matter what my children did, there was nothing I could do to unlove them. Our intuition and our instantaneous understanding awakens when we learn to love unconditionally, self and others. I mean, there's a lot of information on here. It's beautiful. It's global and it's inclusive. We love everybody. Now look at the number. 4% of the world's population reaches love. 0.04% reaches unconditional love. That number needs to increase so we can get to joy. Wow, I mean, look at that girl, 2 thumbs up. It's a constant accomplishment to all activities. Compassion, patience. Wow. Everything happens effortlessly, ladies and gentlemen. And it's an energy. It's an energy field, right? The more one loves, the more one can love. It's that near-death experience state. If you've had that, you can never come back from that the same. You just can't. peace. It's extremely rare. And it's a state of bliss whereby the subject and the object are no longer any different. It's the forest and the trees, all the energy, everything. Oh, it's alive and it's radiant. That's why we go to the ocean. And enlightenment. I think we all recognize that guy, right? Jay. I just call him Jay. The body is seen merely as a tool of conscious communication. It is Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, Lord Jesus Christ. It is the sound of Ah, Allah, Krishna, Buddha. It's all the same. The choice is the same. It's yours. You are the one greatest common denominator in your life. Just you. So just for today, are you willing to choose joy? I did. Whew. Love that picture. And I love Bob Marley. I mean, I love Bob Marley. So thank you very, very much.